Michael Williams, the ferocious defensive end from the University of Georgia, continues to solidify his reputation as one of the most exciting prospects in college football. Standing at an imposing 6'5" and weighing around 265 pounds, Williams is the epitome of what NFL teams dream about when building a dominant defensive line. Watching him on the field, it's impossible not to notice his presence. He simply demands attention on every snap. His first-step explosiveness is elite, often leaving offensive tackles reaching in desperation as he blows past them before they can even set their feet. Beyond the sheer physical tools, what truly separates Williams is his football IQ. He has an incredible ability to read plays, diagnose protections, and anticipate where the ball is going before it even gets there. His arsenal of pass rush moves, combined with his relentless motor and discipline in maintaining gap integrity, makes him a complete player. What's truly scary is that despite already being so effective, he's still scratching the surface of his potential. Each season, each game, you can see incremental improvements, faster hand usage, better pad level, more polished counter moves. It's the kind of progression that has NFL scouts salivating and already penciling him in as a future franchise cornerstone. Projecting forward, the idea of Michael Williams ending up with the Detroit Lions feels not only possible, but almost destined. The Lions, under the leadership of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, have reshaped their identity into one of the toughest, most resilient teams in the NFL. They aren't just looking for talented players, they're building a culture. Grit, determination, passion, and toughness, these aren't just buzzwords in Detroit. They are the foundation of everything the team is about. Williams fits that mold perfectly. He's not just an athletic freak, he's a worker, a grinder, someone who has earned every bit of hype through consistent effort and a genuine love for the game. Watching him during practices, interviews, and game days, it's clear that he embodies the all-gas, no-breaks mentality that Campbell preaches. Adding Williams to a defensive line that already boasts Aiden Hutchinson would be a nightmare scenario for opposing offenses. Hutchinson is already proving himself as one of the league's best young edge rushers, and pairing him with another player of Williams' caliber would elevate Detroit's pass rush to an entirely different level. Imagine third-and-long situations where quarterbacks are forced to pick their poison, double-team Hutchinson and leave Williams one-on-one, or vice versa. Either way, it's a losing proposition for the offense. The potential for creative blitz packages, stunts, and pure four-man rushes that collapse the pocket in seconds would open up endless possibilities for Detroit's defensive coordinator. It wouldn't just be about sacks either. Pressure changes everything. It forces bad throws, creates turnovers, wrecks game plans, and demoralizes opponents. Michael Williams could be a catalyst for that kind of defensive dominance. When you look at the Lions' overall roster construction, adding another dynamic edge rusher makes even more sense. Offensively, the Lions are loaded with young talent, a strong offensive line, emerging playmakers, and a quarterback who is playing smart, efficient football. On defense, they've made significant strides, but to reach that true championship level, they need to consistently disrupt the best quarterbacks in the NFC. Guys like Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and even potentially Caleb Williams or another young star. Having two premier edge rushers is the blueprint many successful franchises have followed. Look at what Nick Bosa and Chase Young were supposed to be for San Francisco, or what Von Miller and DeMarcus were for the Broncos during their Super Bowl run. Detroit could replicate that formula with Hutchinson and Williams. Of course, getting Michael Williams won't be easy. If he continues his trajectory at Georgia, dominating the SEC, the most competitive conference in college football, he's likely to be a top 5 pick. That means the Lions may need to be aggressive, perhaps even trading up in the draft to secure him. But based on everything we've seen from Brad Holmes, that's a move they wouldn't hesitate to make if they believe Williams is the missing piece. They've shown a willingness to be bold when the right player is available, and they understand the long-term value of investing heavily in the trenches. Additionally, from a personality and leadership standpoint, Williams fits perfectly into the locker room culture Detroit has carefully cultivated. He's respected by teammates and coaches alike for his humility, his work ethic, and his team-first mentality. He's not a me-first guy chasing stats. He's about winning, about doing whatever it takes to help the team succeed. In Detroit, where Campbell constantly talks about playing for the man next to you and building something bigger than yourself, that kind of mentality is not just welcomed, it's required. Williams would not only be embraced by the veterans and coaching staff, but could also quickly become one of the emotional leaders of the defense. What also makes Williams so appealing to a team like Detroit is his versatility. While he primarily lines up as a defensive end, he has the frame, strength, and technique to slide inside on passing downs, creating mismatches against interior linemen who simply can't match his quickness. This ability to move around the defensive front would give the Lions flexibility to adapt to different opponents, making their defense more unpredictable and dangerous. Versatility is key in today's NFL, where offenses are constantly shifting formations and trying to create favorable matchups. Having a chess piece like Williams would allow Detroit to stay one step ahead. Beyond the X's and O's, Williams brings an intangible element that can't be measured by stats alone. He's a tone setter, a player whose intensity lifts the level of everyone around him. Watching him on the sidelines at Georgia, you see a guy who's always locked in, always encouraging teammates, always setting the standard. In crucial moments, it's players like Williams who make the difference, not just with a big sack, but by inspiring their teammates to dig deeper and fight harder. That type of leadership is invaluable in a league where the margin between winning and losing is razor thin. Another reason Williams could be a perfect fit for Detroit is the way he thrives under pressure. At Georgia, he's played in the biggest games on the biggest stages, SEC championships, college football playoff matchups, and he's never looked overwhelmed. That experience will translate immediately to the NFL, especially for a team like the Lions that expects to be playing meaningful games in December and January. Williams has already shown he can handle the spotlight, and that poise will be critical as Detroit continues its climb into the upper echelon of the league. It's also worth noting how well Williams would mesh with the young core Detroit is building. Guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Ala McNeil, and Brian Branch have created a defensive identity rooted in toughness, energy, and brotherhood. Williams' personality and style of play would fit seamlessly into that group. Imagine the camaraderie, the competition, and the collective hunger to dominate every Sunday. It's easy to envision Williams and Hutchinson pushing each other to new heights, both on the field and off, creating a culture of excellence that permeates the entire team. Finally, the marketing and fan impact cannot be ignored. A player like Michael Williams would instantly become a fan favorite in Detroit. His work ethic, humility, and highlight reel plays would resonate deeply with a city that values hard work and resilience above all else. Ford Field would erupt every time Williams brought down a quarterback or stuffed a running back behind the line of scrimmage. His jersey would fly off the shelves, and his face would quickly become one of the new symbols of the Lions' renaissance. In a city starving for a winner, Williams could become not just a great player, but a beloved figure who helps redefine what it means to be a Detroit Lion. When you envision Ford Field rocking in January, hosting playoff games in the bitter cold of a Detroit winter, it's not hard to imagine Williams being one of the faces of that era, wreaking havoc, pumping up the crowd, and delivering game-changing plays when it matters most. It's the kind of vision that should excite every Lions fan. While nothing in the draft is guaranteed, and plenty can change between now and when teams are on the clock, the idea of Michael Williams in Honolulu Blue is more than just a pipe dream. It's a real possibility if the Lions are willing to be aggressive and trust their evaluation process. Given everything we know about Williams, his talent, his drive, his fit with Detroit's culture, it's the kind of move that could pay off in a big, franchise-altering way. And if it happens, it wouldn't just be another smart draft pick. It could be the defining moment that helps bring a long-awaited Lombardi trophy to the city of Detroit.